and civil but striking conversations. And we're here with the 5 love languages.
And this is chapter 2. Chapter 2 says, keeping the love tank full.
I like this chapter. It talks about love. And you know, love is one of those words in the English language where it has so many meanings for us. But it also plays a very centristic kind of role in our lives. And we'll say that love is a many-splendored thing. Love makes the world go round. You know, we have, there's so many things about love in our world today.
Love and you is wrong, I don't want to do right.
You would have to bring that up.
I guess that's not one of them. But
no, but it's a good one.
That's a great philosopher who said that.
Psychologists even say that we have a very primal human need to feel emotional love. And so it makes sense that we would want to do all that we could to have that type of emotional love.
You know, even Paul talks about loves and describes love. And we see that love is so important that it says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. So when we begin to look at just how awesome love can be, we can see how important it is, of course, in the relationship. But we've got to begin to understand what it is before we can understand how to put it to work in our relationship.
Yeah, he mentions in the book how we use love in so many different ways. You know, in the same breath, you can say, I love my dog, and then say, I love my mama.
Yeah, man, let me tell you this. Never say, I love my wife and I love my dog in the same sentence, on the same day, in the same month, in the same year. Because you will be in huge trouble. If you didn't know that there was a difference in how they take the meaning of love, you will know then.
Just a little bit of trouble.
Just a little bit.
The purpose of this book now is not to eliminate all the confusion surrounding the word love, but to focus on the love that relates to our emotional love so that we can get a better understanding of it.
Yeah, because he says that among those emotional needs, none is more basic than the need for love and affection, the need to sense that he or she belongs and is wanted. There's nothing worse than being in a relationship and suddenly getting that feeling that you're not wanted or you're not appreciated or valued in that relationship.
Yeah, that is kind of tough. At the heart of mankind's existence is the desire to be intimate and to be loved by another. Marriage is designed to meet the need for intimacy and love.
Because if the need is not met, love will act up. Meaning that you'll start doing all sorts of things, misguided things, in an attempt to feel that love tank that we talked about earlier, that if I'm not getting it from you, suddenly I want to get it from somewhere, and I can begin to feel justified because I think that this is a desire that I deserve and need.
Yeah, and I know that whenever we're coaching people, doing our marriage coaching sessions, Charles likes to reference the in-love experience. So, honey, I'm going to let you talk about that one.
Well, you know that in-love experience. You know, you were just, the first time you saw her, you heard the Platters singing, or the Four Tops, or Kool Moe Dee, one of them. You heard some music, and you just couldn't figure out what was going on. You couldn't get your mind off of her. You couldn't stop thinking about her at work. You couldn't concentrate on driving. Ladies, you didn't know what it was about that guy, but every time you saw something on TV, that guy's face was on that body. You just couldn't figure out what was going on. And that's that in-love experience that he talks about. As a matter of fact, in the next chapter, we're really going to begin to get into that. But you'll see that it's something that is not sustainable. And when we talk about this, people often are aghast. What do you mean it's not sustainable? But you'll see what we mean later on.
And because he calls it a temporary fix,
Absolutely.
A quick fix. The need to be loved is at the very heart of all of our marital desires. One man asked him, Dr. Chapman, what good are the houses and the cars and the jewelry if you're not feeling loved by your wife? What good is it?
It means nothing. Those material things, they will begin to lose their value, or you'll become desensitized to what you really need because it's so psychologically challenging and troublesome, you don't want to deal with it. So this is how I think sometimes people become callous in the relationship, and they begin to try to substitute something that can't begin to fill the void. You can't put a round peg in a square hole and really expect it to fit.
Right. And he says more than anything, the guy just wants to be loved by his wife, and then vice versa. You can have that woman, that wife, who says he ignores me all day long and then just wants to jump in the bed with me. I hate it.
Ooh.
Now, she's not a wife that hates sex. She's just a wife who is pleading for some emotional love.
You got to talk to her. You need to listen. Don't come up with all of those answers, solving all of those challenges right away.
Yeah.
She probably wants you to listen. And this goes back to understanding even men and women.
Right.
Where men, we aren't as emotional in those things. Now, we have emotions, but we just try to keep them on the inside. You know, all kind of bottle up. You know, however, ladies, women tend to be emotional on the outside, and they want to see that you have the capacity to respect and then reciprocate and be a bit altruistic toward their emotions.
No, that's true. You know, something in our nature just cries out for us to be loved by another. You know, isolation is very devastating to the human psyche. That's why solitary confinement is one of the most cruel punishments we have in our country. You know, at the heart of mankind's existence, he wants to be loved by somebody.
Even when he says he doesn't. You have to work on being able to form your mouth to say, I don't need love. You have to try to replace that with some sort of callousness, or you've got potentially some other challenge that needs to be dealt with. But if all things are pretty much on the norm, on the level, we all have a desire for love. If you don't believe it, look at a child. I've yet to see a child who doesn't desire that love experience with a parent.
Right. And you know, and even though love is so important, it's also very elusive sometimes, you know. And at times a married couple can have that secret pain and you not even know what that secret pain is. Well, it's that ultimate feeling of being loved by your spouse.
And if it's not there, that pain grows exponentially. Mm-hmm. And again, you begin to act out and potentially do things that's detrimental to the relationship. So when we talk about, hey, we want to have this thing full, getting that love tank full, I tell you what, it's something else. Because again, you go in with the love tank full, with the in-love experience. After the wedding, seems like somebody poked a hole or put a siphon in your tank. And the next thing, you are bone dry.
Bone dry.
And you're trying to figure out what's going on. And then you're supposed to get unleaded, and you start trying to find leaded and super regular and diesel. You start trying to put anything in that tank in a hope to fill the void.